because if you have a new type of data set, and if you have new types of tasks, it might be very difficult to anticipate what you actually need interactively in order to solve a specific task you haven't seen yet, right? So therefore, it might be much easier to say, okay, you have the data set, you also have all the tasks, the queries, whatever, and then you can start to build your thing. Whereas even if I give you a few examples, then you would need to anticipate the wealth, the possible universe of queries, which already for LSC is sometimes difficult when you come up with a new way of phrasing things and say, oh yeah, but this is only answerable because of this type of information I never considered. And even though it was always there, nobody ever looked at it because it was never used. So therefore, I would really emphasize the asynchronous part of this for new stuff, and if we want to do interactive things, then they should be reasonably close to things people are already familiar with, right? Because we see with VBS and LSC how high the barrier of entry already is. And if we then say, okay, we're not going to do something that is more complicated than this, or even at least more new, there's completely clean slate. And the people at this table will not have a lot of time to actually participate in this, because because everybody here is involved in actually building the back end of this, so there's not going to be participating teams that are sitting here.
Chair,
This too, right? But this is an independent problem. But even saying, look, everybody here is probably out of participating because of conflict of interest and because we might already know the ground truth because we have been there. So that already cuts out a whole swath of people who already have the experience with this sort of stuff.
So it has to be easy.
It has to have well, the task can be difficult to do, but it should not have it should not be difficult to attempt.
So how would you design the asynchronous part? It would still be interactive, and we would still give rules of time limit, or
I would essentially have tasks where we do not specify very closely how people solve them, and just do the classic. Look, here's a bunch of queries. Here's how we're going. Here's the format you're supposed to present your results in. Here's the metrics we're going to use. You have 3 months.
Yeah.
Go.
And you have a limit. Like, let's say you do an interactive task. You have a limit of 3 minutes per task.
Well, not even necessarily, right? Because you can DragFit also did this. You can just say you have to specify how you did it, and then we say if you have a thing that is completely automated that does not require any human input, then it goes into one bucket. If you have a thing that was human-machine collaboration, it goes into another bucket. And then you're supposed to report, of course we cannot precisely validate this, but you're supposed to report the time, the number of rounds, or whatever is applicable for your approach. Again, this needs to be somewhat broad because people might have very different approaches to do this. But ultimately everybody just generates a rank ordered list of results or whatever fits the actual
or the answer if we do question answer.
Yes, or a string or an integer value if it or something like this, and then we will evaluate this in a maybe fully automated. If we just have a ground truth we can compare it to, maybe a judged, and then we do all this pooling stuff.
We probably have to do a pooling because the data is going to be too big.
I mean, for some, I can think of some types of tasks. So, for example, if you, and this is something I alluded to yesterday. I'm already having sneakily repositioning stuff all around the house. So there are some things, and I'm not going to go into more details because otherwise I'm going to giving away the task.
Was that cacao powder?
No, not the cacao powder.
And not the chocolate?
Also not the
The
chocolate.
banana?
But I mean that might also be a type of where was the thing kind of task, because then there is we actively interacted with the thing. There's also some things you're probably not going to interact with, but that if you look back at the video, you will notice that it was there, but you probably haven't paid attention to it. And now everybody's looking at it trying to figure out what I might be talking about.
I'm extremely bad in that.
I'm
You
gonna
can replace it now and
Yes,
I don't know.
I'm gonna tell you eventually, right? But essentially, okay, tell me all the locations where that thing was across the time, right? And then it's somewhat automatable.
And you've got a record, right?
I have notes.
Notes, that's enough. That's good enough.
But that's very interesting for this virtual forensic stuff that Zeno and colleagues do. At Netherlands Forensic Institute, they have this virtual forensic lab and so on. And I think this is kind of going a little bit also touching sister communities, I have to say.
I mean, the other thing is you have the receipts from shopping, so you know how much stuff we bought of which things. So
Yes. Oh,
It's-
that
it
too.
strikes
That's
me
also
that
that's
You should
also
record
interesting.
them, yes.
That's also
I
interesting.
Capture
have a
them.
photocopy of them all. Or
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
picture of them all.
Yeah.
Not quite.
Okay.
The very long one. Yeah.
With the video camera.
no,
And what the stuff
with
you
the
bought
camera,
today
because
is
then
not
you
on-
have it as a hidden
I
ground
have it on
truth.
the camera.
Yes.
If it's not on the
Yeah, okay,
camera,
okay,
then you have
yeah,
it
It
as a
strikes
hidden
me
ground
that that is a very nice hackathon task. The diet. Generate the recipe book.
Yeah,
That's a simple hackathon task.
yeah,
that we
and
can
I think
just
this
set.
is this is what I meant
That
before.
might
Like
also
there,
be a
there is
challenge
work
to us,
on
though, because that can be
That can be
ground truth,
evaluated,
right?
yeah,
We can
yeah.
evaluate
We have
this.
to, so we actually have to make our own recipe book again.
Yeah.
After
What
this,
what I
with
what I would
details.
also like to do, what I think would be interesting more for maybe the computer vision focused people, is if I brought the camera, right, and I'm gonna take some pictures later, and we can release some of those pictures, but not others, and then say, okay, what did the camera see? Reconstruct the image based on, you have a bunch of other cameras, you can reconstruct the scene, because at least much of the environment doesn't change all that much, so you can probably generate a very accurate 3D reconstruction of the environment. And I'm just gonna, you get a few training images to learn the properties of the camera, and it's like, okay, what was the focal length, what are the sensor properties, yada yada yada. And then we have the images, and then I can even do a just pixel based, how accurate was the reconstruction.
I like that.
Yeah,
It's great.
yeah.
I also brought a thermal camera that we can
Yeah,
take
you
some.
said that.
It's very low res,
Yeah.
and it only does pictures. But we can run around with this and
Yeah.
take some pictures and see if that gives something
Can
interesting.
I just I'm thinking about another one that we did once, and it's funny. So you have Google Street View for most of the cities, but in Amsterdam many years ago we started thinking with the city. When I say city, Chief Technology Office and Data Lab, it's a bit risky, to use commercial products, because at some point they even change the terms of service, or they start charging insanely high, So Amsterdam has own panorama vehicles, like many cities. You capture them with moving cars, or even from the boats, there are cameras mounted there, and you kind of stitch them into omnidirectional panorama. So interesting, we used it for some things, aside that you need to anonymize it properly and so on, but we used it for obvious stuff that our community would use, detecting objects in a public space, monitoring state of assets, like in garbage we even did and so on and so on. But catch is, so now comes interesting thing. So in a big organization like a municipality of that size, you have 50 to 80 departments, and they have all product owners and so on, managers basically, and if they find it interesting enough, to incorporate this into their pipelines, then it can be expanded and so on, and it can actually save costs on many things. So the city organized once a hackathon. I was in a jury, and that was really interesting. So the first day come people from different kind of departments, and one is basically monitoring state of the advertisements in a public space. It's kind of you have to pay a tax to put anything in a public space as an advertisement. Apparently in many cities people just like hang something,
Right.
hoping nobody's gonna see. And there are even strict regulations on, for example, light pollution. You know, like if you put a light symbol there, well, it may be preventing people from sleeping. You know, like and so on. So anyhow, the head of department came and he was really like, hey, look, there are these panoramas, but we have no idea what they can be used for, and we are totally willing to invest this much and this much. You know, like if we see kind of evidence that you can reliably detect automatically all the advertisements in public space. So there comes another person that says, oh, if you can show us this and this. So there were like 5-6 people that came, and for 2 days people were busy really, and actually they were even kind of sometimes describing it very vaguely, but they were like really, hey, there must be something that we are not seeing there, because otherwise we would be probably using it. If you find something useful in it, when it comes to advertisement and so on, please also let us know. So, where I'm going with this one, we have this data now, so for a hackathon I think it would be handy to give some guidelines, kind of give some ideas. Hey look, invite some people from our community that have been working on food like Tatsen, Chongwak and so on and so on. They kind of say, hey look, this is what community has been doing, some people that were doing this, could be in this direction, doesn't have to be the same, you know, like, and then give some other hints what people use it for. Recipes, you know, like there is this 1 million recipe, you know. We attempted to cook Asian food in Ireland, but I'm quite sure and it tasted great, but it's probably not the original ingredients. So what did we get?
Close enough.
Close enough, yeah, but close enough. That's really great. What did you replace with what? You know? So I think that kind of stuff, and then kind of that's hackathon. And I think for Grand Challenge, at least I think we need to keep some interaction, because if you look what most of the people do, like in NeurIPSy, iClears, computer vision conferences and so on, it's mostly fully automatic stuff. And this is like sports event. It's fun. It's I think that's some kind of joy that we are bringing to
Yes,
the table
yes.
of a conference, any conference.
Absolutely, but then again, interactive has a high barrier of entry, so it should not be exclusive.
Yeah, I think what's coming out
Yeah.
from the conversation is there's an asynchronous task and there's a synchronous task.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The asynchronous task is going to be lower barrier to entry. Any student in any university that can get his hands on 20 terabytes or her hands on 20 terabytes of disk space can process the data set, can process 24 queries or whatever we decide to do, send in results, pool relevant judgments, submission back, whatever, right, answers back, results back. And those that want to do the interactive element will come to the actual conference definitely, right? And they will take part in an interactive Grand Challenge, which is part of the conference. That's why they asked us to do it, right? They wanted the VBS and the LSC in the
And they need more interaction. Like we forgot that one. Like that was the thing. Multimodality, agents, interaction. That's like basically.
social interaction,
We
healthcare.
need to start knocking people over onto the ground.
I don't
Sanity checking.
think you want to go there.
What are you doing to people?
Yes, no,
Meaning, think of us, you know, like.
But I guess for the
Evaluate the average sanity over
for
time.
for the hackathon, I would even keep it more open and say, look,
Yeah.
this is the broad topic. These are some possible things we have come up with that we think would be interesting. You are supposed to, if you want to participate, sign up, propose a team, propose a task, and probably we will just accept everything that is sensible,
We'd be happy
and as long as we have the capacity, and then our hackathon chairs are going to figure out all the rest, and possibly maybe we can get somebody to sponsor a best hackathon or something.
Sponsored by ACM Multimedia 2020.
I mean, one thing I was thinking also, I mean, for this tutorial on XR search, one insight was basically there's work on mixed reality search engines like they do at Basel, but there is no way of evaluating them. So this could also be one thing. Like, I mean, I was thinking you have a lot of things happening in the kitchen. So you could be in a real kitchen where you have items that you could use as query objects.
Mm-hmm.
So this could also be an exploration of like how would you set up a comparative interactive environment in which you test XR or MR search, right? Which is really something that's not there yet.
Totally.
Which is interesting enough because there's commercial interest in actually building such things, and there's, I mean, it's very wild west these days, and there's people trying all these sort of things. It's very niche at this point in time, but ubiquitous computing has been a buzzword for a while, and it is cooking up every once in a while. So I would not be surprised if there would be more commercial interest within the next few years to really try and put products into people's hands. I don't know to what degree these products are driven by needs, or to what degree this is driven by what can we currently actually make work.
Yeah, of course, it's also like always like having a new feature for every release of another generation of devices, of course, because just saying, okay, there's now a few 100,000 pixels more again, at some point it's not the most catchy argument. So
we've run out of things you can perceive, right? So.
Okay, so what's the next steps? Somebody writes down what we came up with, and we have a discussion again.
Everyone is document. Everything is documented.
Well, I mean, everything is everything is.
Another suggestion, maybe just a small one, to spice it up. I kind of started thinking of spice it up actually.
Oh, now we're getting going.
Hey, there was this article, you know, like speaking of this pseudo psychology, you know, like about organizational theories and so on. Have you ever seen a?
Well, you told me about this, yes.
You take a sheet of paper, you literally salt it, you smash it right away, and it reduces your stress. It was very well known in some journals of dubious science. Yeah, actually unbelievable, but okay. So, what I was thinking, you mentioned that I just read an article, I couldn't believe it. See, actually, some very well-known names they made. So, putting a pepper on me maybe reduces my stress. But do the salt and then. Anyway, and for yourself as well.
Yeah.
So, what I was aiming at, somebody mentioned that we are going to be familiar with the data set and a process. People around us also a little bit more, you know, because you tell colleagues, friends, you know. For a hackathon, maybe it could be a good idea to assign to each team that applies, and we ask people to apply beforehand, a shepherd, somebody who's this or that way involved. And we kind of also organize it as a competition, you know, meaning that shepherd is going to be guiding the team. You see where I'm going, and helping them make the best out of what they want, not really telling them what to do, but kind of trying to squeeze I see some fronts. Probably not a good idea. I
No,
was thinking,
it's
well, let's say
it's-
Werner takes team A from Tsinghua, and Kahal takes a team from.
Oh,
I can see
you're
that,
doing
yes.
it like
Yes,
some
I mean, this
American
is-
Idol or so. Like
Yeah, no, this is
Something like that. Yeah. Why not?
No,
it's an interesting approach. I like the idea. I'm a bit worried about its implementation because many people on this table are going to be very busy these days, especially during the time of that hackathon.
Yeah, we won't have any. Actually, half the people here won't have any spare time during that hackathon. Actually, you won't either.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair,
Because it's going to
if-
be in a weekend, is it?
we should ideally
figure
have
out
some
that, yes.
some time during that hackathon because if
Stupid
we
idea.
are busy running around, then something went horribly wrong.
Well, in most cases, it's the general chairs that will be busy handing out whiskies and stuff during the conference. So you guys should actually have an enjoyable week in
Yeah.
reality, so you would have time to do stuff.
yeah. Well, I guess before the hackathon, it could be in the preparation phase. It could
Yes.
be light involvement, and yeah, I guess someone needs to be there anyway during the hackathon. So
Like,
I
well,
think this shepherding idea could work. I'm not sure because you said putting it more like a competition. I don't think. I mean, there might be very different ideas, so you can't really
Yeah, so
compare
it's-
them.
it's
So I
more of
wouldn't-
a jury kind of
Jury,
thing.
yeah,
yes.
which is okay. The
Yeah.
TPC co-chairs will only be really busy in June, right?
We
Chasing down 1,000 missing reviews. Or something.
Program and all the
The
things.
program stuff will happen in July, right? Once you know all the you have lots of time. Lots of
So much time. We will not know what to do with
You will
all
have
that
4
time.
weeks during the conference.
Not know what to
Okay,
do. There is
remember, there's
all
one
the-
thing we have to keep in mind. Whatever we decide to do for the hackathon, poor Vincent will be under pressure to replicate it next year. So this is, it rolls on.
Yeah.
Not entirely convinced that this is our immediate problem because we need to make it first. We need to make it work the first
You
time.
need
Yeah.
to make it attractive. Without
And
And then you
you'll
learn
simply
lessons
take
from
part
it,
and
and
not
maybe
take
you
us.
change. So
But I think
Yeah.
Finally.
some kind of reconstruction, data augmentation, make it very flexible.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can propose some health-related topics like
Yeah.
recipe,
Recipe generation
sanity
is
checking. I don't know. If you can
Yeah.
evaluate, if you have ways to evaluate, public mental health, can you apply them and give people sanity ratings and see whether there's a decline over the days of the workshop? No, whatever you want. Right? It's-
Anything left to decline?
What's also interesting is all these. If you look at what people do with this tracking of elderly homes, I was mentioning,
yeah,
and,
yeah.
are people, for example, classic question, did they fall? Okay, that's not happening here. Hopefully, so far nobody fell. I think.
Yeah.
but the
Kyle,
thing-
Kyle said it's a dry house. That's why nobody fell so
No,
far.
or we're just gonna strew more banana peels and stuff. So to
But another one, for example, that they were catching, and there were commercial products also like on it. Are people hydrated enough? Did they take enough of this? Did they
Yeah.
take enough of that?
Yeah.
And so on and
This
so on.
is like what's going to be really useful for elderly people, independent living.
Yeah.
Now we
Where
are hitting all
They
these
won't wear
objects
this,
somehow.
but they may have those guys.
Yeah, exactly,
So
yeah.
the data
Yeah.
set's really useful for that.
Yeah.
So that kind of a challenge is nice.
Totally,
Yeah.
totally. Maybe we get in touch with the
I have a
case
company,
and
I have a
people.
company
Yeah.
that does that as well. Not I have.
I mean,
we work with a company. But they'd be really interested in sponsoring something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do this with proxy task. I mean, this is the drug I'm supposed to take to keep me alive. So did I get my level of
your vital dose of caffeine.
Exactly.
But it
Yeah.
all ties in with the recipe generation. What did you put in the meals? The amount of consumption that each
Yeah.
individual person has done.
Yeah.
Can we pull that out of the two cameras?
Yeah,
or
did
just
we get a variety of nutritional ingredients
such a
during
nice
the-
data set.
Allergy warnings.
Yeah.
We have to at least get 2 years out of this data set before we make a new one.
I think that's
Yeah.
Bigger and longer,
Yeah.
with bigger SD cards.
With bigger, more everything. I think this is something that is on the agenda for later in the week
This was.
to see if we had infinite time and infinite money.
Yeah. Well, this was done on a massive budget. That's why we're at the end of the world. If we had done this in Wicklow beside Dublin, short drive, access to more facilities close by, but it would have been double the price. So we had a rough envelope of 10,000.
Yes, and I mean these things
We have those
are
already, right?
these things are nice.
Mhm.
They're not. If we had designed this from scratch, this would look different, right? But
Then I would have had to have 20,000 because I would have had to put together something.
Yeah.
We happen to have these.
no, if we had designed this from scratch, you're talking quite a bit more. But
We can always
remains to be
ask.
seen.
We
Yeah?
could get these police body cams and
Well, we
so
actually
on.
we
They
thought
would
about
be
we thought
worse.
about strapping these on here, right? We thought
This
about
was
this.
this was the
We didn't
first
do it.
this was the first idea we had to say, no, just
In fact, you still like that
do
idea.
the harness, do the harness.
Harness, yeah.
The problem with the harness, if I have the camera here, and I do this, right?
Yeah.
I
Ali's
can
not there.
already
There.
move my eyes, and you will have no idea where I'm looking at. But at least if I move, at
We'll
least
mount
if
them
I-
to
if
the
I-
eyeballs next
If
time.
I move my head, at least you see what I'm looking at.
If somebody builds
If-
a
Eyeball
tracking
mounted.
camera with eye movement detector built in,
I mean, honestly, there are like fairly compact sensors for eye tracking. No, I mean not like the one we have in the other room.
No, but I mean, there's things that could be done if it's
if Luca has a lot of time
if
to
it's
build
if
it,
it's
right?
if
This
it's
is the
if it's
problem.
feasible,
Yes.
I'm not an electrical engineer, so this is there's
Like-
probably if
Everybody
if
gets a
you
Vision
actually
Pro.
need to do this.
Electrical engineer.
glasses
Yeah, a
frames,
few others,
two cameras,
think,
eye tracking
no,
movement.
Right.
It can all be done.
Yeah, yeah.
Can be done.
I mean, to be fair, even in
in
this like version, as long as there are two people sort of facing each other, there should be a way to reconstruct
This is
eye.
definitely also some data augmentation thing I would want to do, right? If I look at you, can I reconstruct based on your feed where your point of attention was at any point in time,
Exactly.
given
yes.
your given
Yeah.
that I
that
see.
can be such
yes.
a cool task.
Yeah.
Actually, estimation from another person's another point of view.
Yeah.
Speaking of
that's
which,
really-
Kachel, I think your camera is also a little bit high.
Is it?
Can we reconstruct everything in
can
the
we just like do one thing, because
Yeah,
Klaus
that would
now
be-
asked me what did we finally conclude, so actually also no,
Yeah,
for
the
interesting-
challenge,
for
Further,
the-
further?
so just like
A little bit
for
further?
catch, and also for
I
basically
think
maybe it
that
becomes a task.
is
Can
better.
we now summarize? This is what we think now Grand Challenge is roughly going to be, just as a summary, if somebody can kind of repeat this Grand
Okay.
Challenge, this is going to be hector.
Better.
Bit high. Still.
Still a little bit high, but
for-
the screen is not on, so I can't
So
really
guys,
tell so well.
summary coming.
Yes.
I think this is better, yeah.
Everybody look at Luca.
Yes.
No, but I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like that for the actual challenge, we can have several subtasks that. So I mean, first two tracks, the interactive thing, that stuff is happening there on site, and the more traditional, you send us results, we're going to tell you how well you did. Non-interactive stuff. For the former, it will probably have to be reasonably similar to the two interactive challenges we've already been doing. So have some instance retrieval and have some question answering with a human in the loop
And we
aspect.
would like to attract VPS teams and LSC teams,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And we would do judging maybe with a few people from here.
Similar.
Yes.
Similar.
So
Yes.
so
Yeah.
from
We
a
are the judges,
setup
yes.
point of
Yeah.
view, from an infrastructure point of view, also how the tasks are designed, how the tasks are presented, it would be the exact same thing as a VBS and
So
LSC.
and then it could later go to the VPS and LSC, but for the first
Yes,
time
we might even
yes, yes,
push
it would be at ACMRT, yeah.
push this
Yeah.
into one of those
Yeah.
possibly, which makes the communication to the people reasonably easy. I mean, what we might want to do anyway is just write a brief. If you have never heard of VPS and LSC, this is how it works. Kind of document, which we're missing anyway. So onboarding for new teams is hard because you essentially have to chronologically read a decade of publications to see how the stuff actually works. But that would be the interactive part. And then there's a bunch of logistics we need to figure out, but this is essentially just work. So this is not difficult.
And for non-interactive, we could do almost the same tasks, but asynchronously.
Yes.
Yeah.
Plus more stuff.
Yeah.
Right. So
But,
some
I
of
mean,
some of the things that we've said that we can actually evaluate that are different type of tasks, as in reconstruct this view from this point. So I actually took the picture, but I'm not showing you the picture.
Also,
Or
point
the-
of view, like region of interest / salient objects, eye gaze
That might be-
from another person's
That
point
might
of
be
view.
difficult to evaluate because we don't have the ground
Yeah.
truth.
Yeah.
So this is more of a hackathon kind of thing.
Yeah. Or
Because there we can
Preparing
look,
it
there
for
we can
future
look at
years,
it
yeah.
and see if it is reasonable. But if two teams submit something similar, we don't have a
Yeah.
precise metric to see how good is this, because otherwise somebody would actually need
Yeah.
to have the eye tracker. Right. So these would be the. So that definitely the question answering the instance retrieval stuff in both tracks.
Yeah.
And the non-interactive would have additional tracks for reconstruction-y things that you could not reasonably do interactively. That also would not necessarily need human input because it's more of an algorithmic.
Like recipes or something that
yeah.
we could.
Yes,
Fine.
regenerate this
Yeah,
recipe.
yeah.
Regenerate this schedule for this person.
Right, yeah.
Count the number of this person did this time or on this day this kind of action was performed.
Right.
This sort of thing. This is still sort of kind of question answery. I would really want to do the visual reconstruction thing for the also so the computer vision people also have an interesting task. Things like that, right?
Sorry, just thinking about the reconstruction, maybe something we should do while we're here is taking measurements of all the rooms as a ground truth.
Yes. Do we have a?
Is there a blueprint of the house?
Well,
I doubt they'll give us.
I mean-
something very funny. I might get measuring tape on
Yeah.
Friday morning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cathal, that must be if they were selling it. There must be a floor plan. In the
Yeah.
Netherlands,
Yes,
at
I'm
least
just
you'll
thinking
find
what
for all
happens
houses.
when I
I'm not sure
contact
how
them
the
and say,
furniture's also.
thank you for the week in your home, it was wonderful. Have you got the floor plans and the measurements? Already I'm thinking, oh, it's a data going to be out there with all their beautiful furniture in it. Ask for any more. I'm a little bit hesitant
Yeah.
to ask for that. I'd rather we just take our measurements.
Yeah. Yeah.
To be fair, I think
We-
most
we-
modern smartphones can do reasonably accurate
Yes.
measurements.
Yeah.
So we can probably just do it ourselves without.
There is a hardware store in the supermarket, so we would have that.
Fair enough.
We could get a automatic vacuum cleaner to generate the floor plan.
No, but I mean, you presumably as long as we have a reference object that we know the precise dimensions
True,
of,
yeah.
everything else
Yeah,
could technically
yeah.
be reconstructed based on.
That
Yeah.
dartboard.
Yeah.
We just need to take the-
I was more thinking about something that is properly
Yeah.
like
Stable and yeah.
well, has a pattern on it
no-
that you
no-
can actually calibrate the camera and
Yeah.
Cathal, you will need to walk through the
Things-
house with this milk carton. I'm sorry.
things like that. But I mean, or just you can do essentially volumetric reconstruction just based on all these images.
Yeah, no, it's just about like if you want to make it useful, it's as a data set. It's
Yes.
also
The
good to
more
have a
stuff
ground
you have, the
truth.
better.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so do you have a plan for thinking about this, and tomorrow we kind of finalize what that looks like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess for the hackathon we discussed a bunch of things that would be interesting, so it might be good. And I don't have the agenda we came up with on the top of my head,
I'm just running
Um,
a list of tasks.
but
before everybody gets them.
it might
It's
be
on the
good
fridge,
if everybody also thinks about.
You have the summary up first day? Something?
What do you mean?
Like
Yeah, video.
video or something?
Yeah, I have some metadata of the
Yeah,
video
it's different, it's different.
that
Should we have a,
I'll come to some of the results from yesterday in a
Okay.
bit.
No, taking.
should we have a viewing of some of the data from yesterday?
Viewing on the data
Viewing probably not.
Of the funniest things that happened yesterday.
If I don't have that technology.
Okay, before we get up, I want to draw the list of tasks that everybody should be kind of doing over the course of this time, right?
Right.
So we have cooking, we know that already, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's cooking something. Everybody's cleaning after cooking, right?
Mhm.
Everybody should be doing the reading experiment. All along will chase you down.
Again, chase with
Let's
the pen.
not all do the reading experiments on Friday afternoon, right?
Go on.
It's not the most fun
Try to
element.
get as
but
How
many
long?
people as you can today.
20
Still a
minutes.
lot of fun.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Everybody has to
reading, you said.
read
If
a book, right?
Allowed?
if it's
I was doing reading aloud.
Yeah, but that it
Can-
should be the guideline. Do you want others to read aloud?
When I was working,
probably not going to be done.
I'm just thinking, what's the benefit of reading it? Read aloud.
Oh,
Wait, why not? It's extra data, right?
How about
Then get some audience.
Very weird. Read out loud.
I was doing
Imagine you have a kid there.
How about XDD? No,
Okay.
but then we're reading Vietnamese.
Yeah, no, but the thing is,
We've already done the Christmas tree.
that it's not a problem with the USB connection. So
Everybody should at least try to make noise on the guitar.
afterwards.
Right?
All right.
Noise on guitar. I won't call it music. Guitar.
So, do we have a printer in the house?
No.
No. Okay. I need some cord. I'll
Yeah.
rig up some cord.
We're getting the third laptop.
Yes,
But I
I will
can put
set up that device later.
One of the helpers
today.
can do it, right? Just need to.
No, we can do. This is a task. We can do. I will set this machine up later today.
Okay, so this is
With
reading
chords.
music.
That's all.
With what?
with chords, guitar chords.
With Ubuntu, and then you can do whatever you want.
Install MIDI software.
It directly boots into some MIDI thing. And that's,
Yeah.
Not everybody can do laundry, so I'm doing laundry and somebody else probably doing laundry.
very good.
Yes. Install some musical qualifications.
Plain.
Games?
Okay, so games. And games will be multiple. We have wooden block game.
Oh yeah.
Excuse me, wooden block tower game.
Wooden block.
Well, it depends on you if it's tower game or
That's-
just blocks.
I mean,
There's a
it's
tower in
true.
there right now, and it's very impressive that it's still standing.
Yes.
Yes.
But the question is, how many blocks can you pull down of that tower before it collapses?
It looks like one.
Yeah, exactly. No, it looks like zero.
Ah, yes, yes,
Before
yes.
it collapses.
you might be able to
The
take
top.
the topmost.
Yes, maybe.
Game.
But
But aside that,
Yeah.
Buckaroo.
what?
Chess.
Buckaroo game.
Buckaroo, what's the Buckaroo game?
It's in there. It's
Yes,
the one where you put the
Did he write down poker, or is he just ignoring you?
Oh,
Poker.
Proper poker.
What is proper poker? Dublin Hold'em.
Dublin rules.
And chess.
that's gone so
We won't get everybody
table,
into everything's in on the table, yeah? Chess? Connect 4.
I didn't play chess since elementary school.
We
It's
should
gonna
have-
be funny if
the
I
rules
did,
are still
you
the
know?
same.
Darts.
Stefan, you're playing against me, same for me.
Chess or equivalent.
I'm not joking.
Finally, a worthy opponent, somebody who plays at my level.
What's the
that's gonna be
equivalent of chess
hilarious.
that you have here?
Drafts. You take the Connect 4 pieces and you play drafts.
Googling
Drafts.
rules.
It's
It's an easier game than
That
chess.
machine is
People will be feeling less
Like
pressed.
checkers or
Drawing.
it's similar.
We need a chess program. Yes.
Drawing a
Similar to
picture.
check-
Suggest
it's similar to
Well, I mean, we
check.
can play
Paper
checkers
planes,
with
writing.
the Connect
Yeah.
4.
Yeah, yeah,
But
exactly.
you don't have pencils. You don't
It's
have.
We do.
something
We've got colored
Whoever
markers.
first
We've got
opens the
30
web page with some
Oh, I didn't get
basic
anything. That's
tactics
why I
is
had to
probably
be
gonna be the best.
What?
She painted a picture with enamel paint used for
Yes, but this is much nicer because the others are
what was it? What was the
Crude.
other thing we said?
Origami. There was
Origami.
one, paper.
Paper plane.
I would want some colors. please.
Yes, you
couldn't build
well,
up
you have colors.
Yeah,
With these
darts.
colors, you will not be able to achieve
The long
precision.
game.
Long game, dart slash long game.
At the end of the day, remember?
Is that it?
Quizzes?
Thesis?
quiz. Quiz.
Quiz.
I mean, thesis. Those of us who are still studying can also do thesis.
I have somebody handing up a thesis this week if you want to read it. You're very welcome.
Is that the reading task?
Reading task. Somebody please read News PhD. The happy quiz. Anything else?
I think that's it.
I think that's enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. About 20.
Teach somebody a card game.
Teach how
Well,
to
teach
Uno, Uno, Uno,
Yeah,
Uno,
yeah.
Uno.
I wanna to learn poker because I also didn't play that one since.
But don't learn from her. She will take all your money. While you're learning.
Dublin rules.
I want to learn
No, but,
poker.
but
What is that,
definitely, if you have a thing
I
that
will
you can
show you.
teach other people, that would be very
Much less
interesting.
complicated.
So I call
What do you mean much less complicated? How much less complicated can you get?
All your cards.
Yeah.
You're allowed to change one. You go.
Okay.
5 cards. Oh, yeah, I want to go to this one. Take another card. Thank you. Show your cards.
Until you have a
Oh, that is.
It's poker. It's proper.
No.
poker.
It's a version of poker, yes.
Okay, and how many rounds of betting are there?
What's the rule? What's the
You
rule?
just keep going until you finish.
So
No.
Do you
But
know
like,
normal rules?
you still bet with chips, right?
Yes.
I used to know.
But like, so you get your cards.
Haven't played.
Yeah, no.
And you'll match me.
Just
And you'll raise me.
however many
All right.
rounds
Okay,
until
okay,
it
okay.
You try to get
stabilizes.
some
Okay.
patterns
But it should be
out of
around
5
before you
cards.
switch your card.
Oh,
You
yeah,
have to
no,
switch your
no,
card.
Yes.
Yeah, but his
Yeah.
version is that you get 5 cards at once.
But you
Their
have a round
version
of
is
betting
that you
before you
have
switch
2
cards,
cards
and then
on your
after.
own and 3
No, we normally do
and
after.
the
We
other
can do it. We can do it. We can
5
do it.
Yes.
cards
It
on
would
the
be more
table.
interesting with
Yeah.
the
I
poker.
think I was playing
Okay.
that one.
Okay.
Interesting.
Proper poker.
But the thing is that the sets
Look,
that the sets
We
that
play
you
proper
bought.
poker. You play some
no.
Texas poker thing.
Yes, bite them.
I can play it as well.
On the sets, there were slots for the cards, so
Okay.
they were playing according to the
We'll play
sets.
snap.
Snap.
What is snap?
Whoever gets a matching card. Snap.
Ah, yes.
It's actually good fun.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
that Dublin.
Oh, yeah.
We'll do Dublin poker.
Yeah.
On and on, you're in.
Sure.
Dublin rules.
Sure.
Very good. So
Okay,
basically,
so if you
it's
change
one of you
poker,
get a
proper
cards, you
poker
can,
is already in there, yes.
Get new
Proper
debt
poker.
and,
Proper poker. Yeah.
we play proper poker.
Yes.
But that means your credit card is out.
What?
Your credit card goes on the table.
The wallet said.
Yeah, that's proper.
I got to put it on the
That's
fridge.
proper.
Right? The only thing, not everybody can actually do laundry, but everybody can do cleaning.
Sweeping the house, you mean?
Everybody is expected to clean up after 2 meals. Right? Over the course.
Okay.
That's reasonable.
I can do cleaning now. I didn't do.
You
cleaning.
cooking? No, you
Yeah,
cooked.
you're
No,
cooking.
you're
Yeah, you
the
cook to
chef.
clean.
You're the breakfast chef every
Right.
day apparently now. So
Self-appointed, plus helping with lunches.
So who was
Did
lunch?
you get the rolling pin when you were shopping?
We didn't, but we got a very tightly wound aluminium foil.
I was kind of afraid that you would say that, but
No, it was the cheapest one, so it was really small. It's perfect.
Yeah, I
we
saw
can
that.
make make that
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you stand?
We that was a decision taken.
Well, he.
That's a wrong decision taken.
A decision taken by people.
The other option was we went to Galway and we're still on the way back now.
There was no rolling pin?
Order it from Amazon, it will arrive next week.
Yeah, there was no rolling pin.
There was no rolling pin.
There was no rolling pin.
No rolling pin. We didn't have the cameras on, so nobody could prove
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
There was no rolling pin.
So lunch is
Chicken hot pot.
chicken hot pot. It's gonna. I'm cooking with you, right? Is that the plan?
No.
Do it by yourself.
That is legal.
We just me, Lynn, and Bao.
Okay, fine.
But I thought you'd done a new curry.
How long
Yeah,
will it
but
take?
the thing is that they are not wearing cameras, so
Yeah.
I have to do it for them.
Or somebody else can do it.
An hour.
They can instruct people.
Maybe a bit more because
It would actually be
maybe
much
but
more interesting if it's somebody who has no idea what they're doing.
Right.
And you just have to give instructions.
Oh, if you're willing to have a really bad one.
You can do it, right?
Yeah.
If you're willing to have to risk it, we have plenty of food, right?
That's okay.
Okay,
What's the worst that can happen?
I'll stock up some of the croissants just in case.
Go to the NTCR queries and get them out.
This one is
Now,
Yeah.
on camera.
On camera. Because it's gonna be the query is gonna be out before the day set comes out for this.
Yeah, okay.
So it's meta.
Yeah, but can I do it after lunch?
Okay. So you cooking lunch now?
No, not now.
no, but you find some volunteers wearing cameras who have no idea, who've never seen the recipe, and then that's much more interesting.
The important thing is that even the person who suggested the recipe doesn't know what he's doing.
That's even more interesting.
Fantastic.
And I needed to get more stuff this morning.
Yeah, no, that's great. So,
But you've made it before.
No.
No.
So
Okay.
nobody made it before because we
Amazing.
actually
It's
don't know what
okay.
we're doing.
It's fine. Let's cook the ham as well.
Oh yeah, what is the ham for?
Sandwiches.
Okay, you can do that.
Okay.
Backup.
For the trip back.
For the trip back.
Inside of
Oh, fair enough, fair enough.
Okay.
All right.
Great job.
Okay.
Okay. Who are the two people who are doing the cleaning?
I can do it.
Lovely. You're the two people. Perfect. I'll go back to the
I
laundry.
will do the copy, yeah.
We can. I will report to the laundry.
Yes.
As a second.
Because laundry is type of camera, right?
No, outside camera. We don't have a camera there.
Oh, sorry. There's just a cup of egg standing here.
I'm not sure if
Is-
someone needs it for baking still.
Ah, very good. This is the leftover egg yolk from Timtown.
Yeah.
It was standing out. I'm not sure if it's.
Because
No. This is still needed for Luca.
No. But
do you
I
mean?
mean, it was out.
Yeah.
Look, this was out for
that's
too
why
long.
it took so
What do you mean too
long?
long? This is still fine.
Put it in the fridge. It will
Yes.
It will be heated.
Just cover it just a second with something.
Ah yes, cling film.
It's gonna be processed later.
It will.
Yeah, it will be cooked. It will be baked.
Same for the exact
Yeah,
same
but we
thing.
should have put it in the fridge.
Yes, it should
Yeah,
be
exactly.
Yes.
No, but I mean, is it okay now?
Yes.
Yes, of course, of course.
Because this kind
I mean, it's egg yolk. It doesn't go bad so quickly.
I don't know.
I know. Don't worry. It's all good.
Yes. I'll bring my shirt.
Pass me over the cups and I'll put them in.
Oh my god. It's some fake milk.
Fake milk. Oh,
Look at this thing.
well, that's very, very non-milk.
Any more? No.
Oat drink.
Glasses. Yeah.
Yeah.
There is very little space in here.
It's a bit of a
This is
cultural
also-
reference, you know. In
Uh-huh.
Amsterdam, when the rest of the country jokes about Amsterdam,
Thank you.
put it
Yes.
there. And we put
We
this one.
can, yes.
So when the rest of the country jokes with Amsterdam, they
Oh.
always joking, oh, this oat cappuccino.
We forgot to put the milk rice on the table. Oops.
So this one goes to fridge, or it can stay on a.
Is this clean or dirty? What's currently in
Need
the
some,
those few glasses?
Queen, we're just emptying.
Okay. Yes. Very good.
Florian,
Yeah?
as
Fridge.
international expert, fridge or countertop?
Fridge.
In the fridge.
Definitely fridge.
This is gonna be fun.
And then we're done.
I'll be right back.
Yes.
Our head is super compressed from this thing.
Yesterday, even when I sleep, I still feel it.
Yeah, I felt it. Yeah. I went to sleep and I really felt, oh, did I have camera still on?
Yes.
Zelf maar installeren?
Ja, dank.
What do we do with this?
They're for cooking, roasting.
Okay, then I put them,
It means you don't have to clean every time, right?
I think we have two to clean. Guys, these two need to be cleaned, these two are new.
They're okay. They're okay. They need a bit of processing.
I don't know, let's not risky. Huh? Somebody get in a bug in you know what I mean. Cacao.
Can we? Oh, oops. It's not supposed to be go that far, anyways.
So these ones we can cover with a.
Wait. Yeah. Sorry.
Anything broken?
No.
You okay?
Did we break something?
No, not yet.
Okay, awesome.
Very, very close, but nothing.
Florian,
Yes.
Florian, don't hurry.
Hmm?
Don't hurry.
Well, I mean, we need to get to some non-food activities as well, right?
Last transfer of whitewash. White laundry. White only.
All good. Thank you.
All good.
Oh, let's maybe get the cheese out of there.
Yeah.
There.
I think we have some croissants for.
Harry took the new one. Yeah, that one. Hopefully the foil of that one dissolves. Yeah,
Yeah,
because the
it
other one says it dissolves, but it didn't.
Hey Florian,
Yeah?
This one
you
does.
did mention
Yeah,
that you
it
like
should, yeah.
snacking in between.
Well, I like it, but I shouldn't.
I mean, you are the one that still can afford it.
No, I really can't. I think I've already gained like a kilo this week.
Maybe Werner can also afford, but
No.
me and Klaus don't.
No, it doesn't look like it can afford it. You know, that's what I'm always saying. You know, there is these guys who say they nourish themselves from life.
Is it doing?
That's what I
Is it not?
It's the Christmas lights that make me put that on weight every year.
Hey, these are the croissants.
Yeah.
What else can I help?
Wait, oh. This house is very sturdy.
No, it's the
I don't know, this one's.
what you call them, the
Did we
push
put
of
too
German,
much?
die sind
Did we put
abgebrochen.
too much?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but we can still.
Huh.
You did the 27, you think this works? You did the 27 program? There's nothing.
I think
Oh, did we buy?
5.
Yeah, but it's just the 20, that's just the 27 one, the short one.
Yeah, but don't.
We should do a longer one. I think
do
the,
the
the, the
longer
short
one.
one, the short one did not work very well.
No, we have to switch it off.
Can we actually put the silicone brush in there as well? I don't think the egg is getting out very easily. Oh, and I have another 3 spoons.
Guys, I think we forgot something on our shopping list.
Yeah.
Oh.
These tablets for.
No, we have them. They brought 2 packets even.
Awesome,
Yes.
awesome.
Yeah, we already used the new one.
I didn't put them on the list, but somebody added them. Oh, that's it.
Very good.
I just remembered now.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
This is collaborative cooking, list making.
Chicken has to go to fridge. Let me try to make the
There is another over there.
The meat fridge.
The meat fridge. Yeah.
You only have 6 chicken breasts.
Only 6. Well, it'll never work. No, Kachal, that's so much.
For lunch.
Yes, we will be eating that lunch for a week.
That's all we have though.
What do you mean that's all we have?
We have 6 chicken breasts.
Only
12
6.
people.
Kachal, I think we will manage.
Are you sure?
I am quite certain.
Most Irish people use 1 tea bag in a teapot.
How many were there? Oh, yeah, I wouldn't have put 3 in there.
Coffee, 1, 2, 3 coffees. 3, 4 coffees, 5 coffees, 6 coffees, we're fine.
Wait, what?
6 bags of coffee.
Oh, and so did you buy another
2.
freeze-dried coffee?
No. Just here.
Yeah, but I thought.
No,
Oh, was there already one and then we bought
I had
one?
that in my fridge, remember?
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Hey guys,
It was in your fridge. Yeah.
whoever is cooking, we have 2 packages of chicken that have to go today.
Oh, that's the chicken breast, yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, there's 2 packets that expired today. Interestingly, the ones you bought on Monday last until Friday. So the ones you bought today will last until today.
That's fantastic. Amazing.
Are we sure they're safe then? You have to smell them, right?
Yeah, well, once you open them, yeah, but
Chicken with ham.
I think if they last until today, they should.
We just have to check it.
Yeah, sure. But they should be
I
reasonably safe.
normally am not happy to do chicken when it's so cold.
Yeah, I know it's very fast.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if it gets properly cooked and properly heated up.
Don't open them now.
Das ist eine sehr gute Frage. Das würde wahrscheinlich Luca wissen.
Hast du das hinten auf
Nein, aber ich
denke ich ja.
wurde
Ich bin mir nicht sicher. Irgendwas ist was drin.
ja, guter Punkt. Werde ich machen.
Okay, das hätte ich auch so von der Liste. Ich schmeiße mal da rein.
Was?
Ist der noch okay?
Der? Nein. Luca hat heute Morgen
Luca hat die Schokolade.
Schokolade geraspelt. Und ich weiß nicht, wie das passieren konnte, aber die Schokolade ist da ganz oben so richtig dick reingebacken. Oh ja, sicher.
Thighs. Who's cooking the chicken thighs?
Chicken what?
Thighs.
Oh, thighs.
No idea.
Um,
So if we get rid of the chicken that's out of date, roughly, and use the thighs and the in-date breast instead.
Lunch is a chicken hot pot.
Yeah. So I think we maybe don't need some of that chicken, right? So chicken hot pot. Anything else with chicken? Indian. Does Bjorn's curry need Indian? Let's see.
No, because he prepares dal and he prepares something else.
Chicken curry. Lynn's chicken curry. So I think maybe short of chicken. Maybe we have to replace that with something else, right?
Yeah.
Chicken curry may have to go.
Or we kind of put it today instead of good.
Bjorn was doing. There's a reason why Bjorn had to do it today.
No, there is no reason.
oh, danke.
Yeah.